He could hear the crowd screaming, "Crucify, crucify." He could hear the hatred in their voices. These were his chosen people. He loved them, and they were going to crucify him. He was beaten, bleeding, and weakened. His heart was broken, but still he walked. He could see the crowd as he came from the palace, and he knew each one of the faces so well because he had created them. He knew every smile, laugh, and shed tear. But now they were contorted with rage and anger. His heart broke, but still he walked. Was he scared? You and I would have been. He felt alone. His disciples had left, denied, and even betrayed him. He searched the crowd for a loving face, and he saw very few. And then he turned his eyes to the only one that mattered, and he knew that he would never be alone. He looked back at the crowd, at the people who were spitting at him, throwing rocks at him, and mocking him. And he knew that because of him, they would never be alone. So for them, he walked. The sounds of the hammer striking the spikes echoed through the crowd. The sounds of his cries echoed even louder. The cheers of the crowd as his hands and feet were nailed to the cross intensified with each blow. Loudest of all was the still small voice inside his heart that whispered, "I'm with you, my son." But God's heart broke, for he had let his son walk. Jesus could have asked God to end his suffering, but instead he asked God to forgive them. As he hung on that cross, dying an unimaginable death, he looked out and saw not only the faces in the crowd, but also the face of every person yet to be, and his heart filled with love. As his body was dying, his heart was alive. Alive with the limitless, unconditional love he feels for each of us. And that is why he walked. So when I forget how much my God loves me, I remember his walk. And when I wonder if I can be forgiven, I remember his walk. And when I need to be reminded of how to live like Christ, I think of his walk. And to show him how much I love him, I wake up each morning, I turn my eyes to him, and I walk.